Welcome to Holy Sync Radio. Today we're talking about why purpose-driven worship radio will change the way you listen. There's a moment we've all had. You're driving, doing dishes, or just sitting in silence, and the right song comes on. Not just a good song, the one that speaks straight to what you're carrying, the one that reminds you you're not alone. Christian worship music was never meant to be background noise. It was meant to minister. But the question we're asking today is simple and important. What happens after the music stops? That question is at the heart of purpose-driven worship radio. And today we're going to unpack what that means, why it matters, and how Holy Sync Radio approaches it differently. Nilsa, let's start with this.
Tomas, you talk a lot about purpose-driven worship radio. What does that actually mean?
For me, it really comes down to intention. A lot of Christian radio plays great music, and that's a good thing. But purpose-driven worship radio asks a deeper question. What is this moment meant to do in someone's life? Most people aren't listening passively. Studies show that over 90% of Christian radio listeners tune in for spiritual growth and worship throughout the day. That means people are hungry. They're looking for encouragement, direction, peace, and hope. Purpose-driven radio doesn't just fill airtime. It says, we're here to walk with you. Every song, every testimony, every segment is meant to point somewhere toward healing, truth, or transformation.
Holy Sync Radio is AI powered, and that gets people curious. Some excited, some cautious. How do you explain that?
I actually welcome that question. Here's the most important thing to understand. AI is never the source. It's the tool. Every song on Holy Sync Radio begins with a real human story. We're talking about pastors, survivors, parents, everyday believers, people who share their sermons, prayers, journals, and live testimonies with us. Then AI helps translate those real stories into music. So when you hear a song about healing, someone actually lived through that healing. When you hear a song about addiction, grief, or freedom, that victory is real. AI helps us scale testimony, but the heart always stays human.
So you're not just generating random worship songs?
Not at all. And this is where integrity really matters. We don't allow low effort, prompt only content on the platform. Human testimony and spiritual intent are non-negotiable for us. Worship carries weight. What people listen to shapes their hearts. So when someone tunes into Holy Sync Radio, they're not hearing AI worship. They're hearing someone's story set to music. That changes how you listen. It's personal, it's real.
One thing that really stands out is your charity model. Can you explain that?
Yeah, this is where purpose becomes practical. At Holy Sync Radio, 50% of all revenue goes directly to charity every single time. Not someday, not when we're bigger, right now. So when someone listens, their minutes matter. They're helping support families, fund ministries, and meet real needs. Worship doesn't stop at the song, it turns into action. That's what purpose-driven means to us. Worship that works, music that moves resources, listening that changes lives beyond the moment.
Your programming covers a lot of styles: kids, hip hop, gospel, EDM. Why such a wide range?
Because God doesn't speak in one genre. Some people meet him in traditional gospel, others through hip hop. Some kids meet him through joyful, simple songs made just for them. We call it the big net philosophy. Different sounds, same truth. If the goal is reaching people, then limiting worship to one style doesn't make sense. The best Christian radio stations aren't the ones that play your favorite genre. They're the ones that help everyone encounter Jesus in their own language.
You've said Holy Sync isn't meant to be background noise. What do you mean by that?
Music always affects us, even when we're multitasking. But when worship is intentional, it becomes formation. Studies show Christian radio can reduce stress, ease anxiety, and help people understand Scripture better. That's not passive entertainment. That's discipleship happening in everyday life. Purpose-driven worship radio invites people to tune in, not zone out, to slow down, to listen, to reconnect with God throughout the day.
So, for someone listening right now who's curious, What's your invitation?
I'd say this: if you've been searching for a Christian radio experience that goes beyond playlists, something that connects worship to real stories and real impact, we'd love for you to join us. When you listen to Holy Sync Radio, you're not just a listener, you're a partner. Your worship supports real testimonies, real families, and real kingdom work. Real testimony, real charity, real purpose. And that's purpose driven worship radio. And we believe it will change the way you listen for good.
Thanks for being with us today. Come worship with us. Be part of something bigger.